So part one, done. We have the library downloaded and installed in our Java library, Java folder within our environment. Next phase is to actually get it to work with IntelliJ. To do that, we're going to the same place where we downloaded it. We Google JavaFX download and documentation and getting started with JavaFX. Now on this, there's a lot of good reading if you want to really dig into what's going on. I'm just going to jump to JavaFX and IntelliJ. And from here, create a JavaFX project. I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to create a new IntelliJ project. I'm just going to leave it as a Java project. JavaFX does a whole lot of more building for really advanced stuff. We're not going to get into that. We're just entering the JavaFX environment, understanding the basic tools and graphics. So I'm just going to call this project graphics. Create. So the website indicates that you're going to go through and create a new project. Again, I'm creating just a basic JavaFX project. Or sorry, just a basic Java project, not going to the JavaFX. Just a basic Java project. Then continuing on with this, we're going to go through and we're going to modify the project structure. On the project structure, there's not a lot we have to go through and adjust. I'm already current version of Java, so we don't have to adjust this too much. But in terms of libraries, we're going to need that. So we're going to add a library, and recall I mentioned that JavaFX is an external library that we pull into Java or into our programs. So from here, I misspoke earlier, I said bin, that's the compiled binary stuff. We actually want the library. This folder, this path is important. We're going to use this a couple different times, so I'm going to copy this. It beats typing all that out or refinding it. So we're going to add that Java library into the project. Now when we do that, actually select the libraries, not just the folder. And do not change the name of it. If you change the name of it, things get confused. So again, what did I do? If you make a mistake, you could remove that. So we're going to insert the library. I use the path where I installed it. If you installed it elsewhere, obviously you want to grab the JavaFX library folder, and I'm going to explicitly select all these libraries. And what is a jar file? What is a library? They're basically all the classes, Java class, compiled into a compressed file. It's a Java compress file. It's like a Java zip. So those are the library. So again, this is the part. Do not change the default name for this. So we add a library. I'm going to click apply, and we're good to go from there. So we add the library. And then we're going to add the VM options. Because we did not have a preloaded class, I'm going to create a Java class, first JavaFX. I will share this with you. So JavaFX. Just so you're aware, if you had something off with your library, all these would be unknown, right? We have to pull in the library. We have to pull in the JavaFX library with all these classes so that Java understands what they do, what they are. So, I'll just re-add those again. So I'll just re-add those again on here. Make sure I explicitly select all these libraries. So now the library is within this IntelliJ environment. It can easily go through and know where things are at. I click run and I get an error. So it understands what these classes are. It'll pull it into when it runs it. However, we have to set up a bunch of different things. I say a bunch. There's a setting that we want to get into. And this is what it says. You run it, you're going to get expected errors. So we're going to have to go through and make sure that everything's included. So run edit configurations to the VM options. So you've done this before when you have gotten into working with files or command line interfaces, command line arguments. So edit configuration, run edit configuration, and then modify options. Two things I'm going to have you do. Allow multiple instances, so you could run it and run it again, so you have multiple instances running. That's nice to have on. So if you want to compare your graphics, but then you want to add VM options. And then from here, how are we going to do that? What's it going to look like? This tells us nicely, Windows. Now on this, a couple things to point out. Make sure you select Windows and don't leave it in Linux, Macs, unless you're working on a Mac or Linux. And then VM option, I'm just going to copy and paste. If you quickly do this and run it, you'll notice that you get a different error, but it's still an error. The reason being, if you just copy and paste in your run edit configurations, which I'm going to show you another way. You can click on the wrench here. It'll bring up the same thing. This content here needs to refer to your library. Where's your library at? That's the this path. The library is over here. So when it goes to work with this, it needs to know where that library is. So we're going to put it there. Okay. So now when we run it, there is our first Java application. I'm not going to go through the application. Our goal is just to get up and running. It is now running. Perfect. End of part 2.